Hello students, welcome back to the third episode of our journey of sequence and series. In the previous part, we have studied about the general terminologies which associate with the arithmetic progression, and we have also learned how to find the sum of n terms of an AP. In this part, we are going to see some important tips which will be helpful to solve the IIT-JEE advanced problems. Plus, we will also see a very important concept of arithmetic mean. So the aim of this part would be to make the arithmetic progression easier to interpret and manipulate. So whenever the questions will be given, so the aim of this part will be to simplify the things. So let us look at have some important properties and see that how they will help us. So if I talk about the first property, so it's written that if a fixed number is added, subtracted, multiplied or divided from each term of an AP, then the resulting sequence is also an AP. So if I interpret it mathematically, that suppose an AP is given like this. So if you add a number from each term, so if I add suppose D to it, or if you take any number for understanding, say 2. So if you add 2 to it, it will become 3, this will become 5, this will become 7. So again you can see that this becomes an AP. Similarly, if you subtract 2 from it, so this will become -1, 1, 3, 5. This is again an AP with a difference of 2. Now let's see what happens when we multiply or divide a term or fixed number from each term. So if you multiply everything, suppose by 2, so this will become 2, 6, 10, 14. So now you can see the let us first see what is the common difference between these terms. 4, this is again 4. So as you can see, the resulting sequence has again turned out to be an AP, but what's the difference? Here the difference was 2, now it's 4. So it's being proportionate to the number which we are multiplying. In addition or subtraction, it remained constant, the difference between the terms after adding, subtracting and before. In this case, it becomes proportionate. Similarly, for dividing case, you can consider that. Let us look at the second property. So if I talk about the second property, so it simplifies us when in the questions it's given that we have to take first 3 terms or middle 3 terms or 5 terms in AP, and some relation is being given which we will see through the example later on. For now, what you can see, why it is convenient to take this as the 3 terms. Suppose if I am saying that you have to take first 3 terms of AP and the sum is given to be 12 and the product is given to be 48. So now if you go back by the original definition, what I gave, A plus D, A plus 2D. So now if you take this, so what will be the two equations? If you add this, you will get 3A plus 3D will be equal to 12. And if you multiply this, A into A plus D, A plus 2D, this will be equal to 48. Now let us see what happens that when we take this. So if you add all this, what you will get? 3A is equal to 12. And the next equation, if I take A outside and A minus D and A plus D together, is equal to 48. So this can further be simplified. A into A square minus D square is equal to 48. So now this, if you see, compare the two cases, first case, and if I write this as second case, you can clearly see the equations obtained in the second case are quite simple as obtained in the first case. One question again here will rise in your mind that, sir, you have told us that the first term will always be the A. So see, that was just the denotion that we used to say that A represents the first term. But what was the aim? That in an AP, the sum, the terms, they differ by a constant. So even if I start with A minus D, so I am keeping the second term A, then what difference I am doing? Instead of A1 is equal to A, I am saying that my A1 starts from A minus D. So in this case, your A will change. So for example, if you take 2, 5 and 8, so either you can write a1 as 2, or what I am saying, if this is a, you are writing a1 as 5 minus 3. That is the common difference. And a2 as 5 and a3 as 5 plus 3. So that is just the denotion. We can always change the denotions from one case to another. So this we have done for our convenience. So when we will practice some questions and see that why we are using this, so you have to take care that whenever you are having odd number of terms, the keyword here is odd number of terms. So I said 3 terms, so 5 terms, 7 terms, 9 terms. So you will always take first as the central term will be a. So why the central term? Because now if you take one term, so remaining will be even terms, and you can distribute on both sides of this. For example, if on one side you take a plus d, so it will be a minus d. What will be the, if you have to take 5 terms, the next term will be a plus 3d. On this side it will be a minus 3d. So what happens is the d terms get cancelled. If you take a as the reference, and if you have the equal number of terms on both sides, so as I have told that the difference it's constant. So if you are going 2 terms here back here, so you are dividing or you are subtracting the equivalent number of d which you are adding on the right hand side. So that's the logic behind this. So now what happens, I mentioned the word odd terms. Now what happens if you have to take the even terms? So if I ask you that the sum of 4 terms is 10 and the product of 4 terms in an AP is say 24. So if you write now like this, that a plus d, so definitely you are not gonna do this, because this I have already eliminated, that this you won't take when you are given a relation of sum and product. Okay, so in other simplifications, that's the common sense, that somewhere this might also help, that the relation is given to be in this terms, like we got 3a plus d in the previous case. So you might have been given a relation which is in terms of a plus d. So there this will also help. So you have to use your common sense. So for now, if 4 terms are given, if we are considering this a minus d, a plus d. Now wherever you take the 4th term, it will make imbalance. So to overcome imbalance, what we will do? We will remove this term, and what we will do? Now 2 terms are there. So this is 2d. So if I now make 1 on each side, so clearly you will get 4 terms, and again the d will cancel out. So whenever you are having even terms, you will delete the central term. Why? Because even number itself can be divided into 2 equal halves. Because a was the reference, so in this we don't require the reference. So this will be clarified when we take the examples or when you do the examples. 4th point, if you remember this thing we used, I explained it when we derived sum of n terms. So if I give you an example, for example 1, 2, 3, 4. So now if you have a look, so what is your n here? So it will be 4 here. So now if you see that I go by formula a1 plus what is n? N is basically this is a1, a2, a3 and a4. So what is an? An is a4, that is equal to 4. So if you write this will be 1 plus 4, which is equal to 5. Now again going to the second term, this will be a2, that is equal to 2 plus 3, which will be equal to 5. So this both are equal. So if you see that this is again the repetition of that, the a3 will be 3 plus 2, so that will again be the 5. So you can clearly take 1 or 2 more examples by yourself to get it understand better. So let us have a look at the next topic, which is the arithmetic means. Now what is the mean? First forget about arithmetic mean. What is the mean? Mean is the average, as we have learnt in the earlier classes or maybe some junior classes. Mean, by mean we mean that average, that it's an average. It's something, the first word which comes to our mind will be average. So what has arithmetic to do in this? So we will see that there is no difference. So clearly if I am talking about arithmetic means, it means the mean when you are having an arithmetic sequence. So suppose if I take 2 terms, so 2 terms for having an arithmetic progression you need at least 3 terms. So 2 terms, that you cannot be say that they are in AP, because difference between 2 terms, the definition of AP says that difference between the 2 terms is constant. So if you are having only one thing, then how can you compare with the next difference? So first let us understand that this, if you are having 2 terms, so what will be your mean? Mean will be a plus b by 2. Okay, so if you take this, that this is a plus b by 2, so now let us take the numbers denoting this. So this will be 3. So now if I write 2, 3 and 4, so can you see that these 3, now can I say that they are forming an AP? So what I have done is I have inserted it here. Inserted means I have put this in between of 2. Now suppose from the given 2 terms, I suppose this is 2 and this is 4. I want to make this as the arithmetic progression of 4 terms. So what will I do? Since I have inserted one mean here, what I'll need to do? I'll need to insert 2 means here. So now what is 2 means? You will say, what absurd you are saying, what absurd thing? Mean, it's average. So what is mean 1, mean 2 has to do with this? So basically that's the difference between the general mean and arithmetic mean. So arithmetic mean, it helps us to make a given 2 numbers sequence or an arithmetic progression by inserting these means in between. So the formula will change. Why? Because if you are saying this as A, so how do we got this? So this we would have written that A and B, and we would have used that formula that A minus A, so this will be D, and B minus A will also be this. So this will be B minus A. So this we have got from this thing only, that A plus B is equal, A is equal to A plus B by 2. So what happens if I want to insert 2 things between? So I'll denote it by A1, A2. Okay. So this was the next thing which I have also mentioned it here. So I think it's readable. Inserting n arithmetic means between A and B. So I have talked about inserting one mean. So when I talk about 2 means, so clearly this will again form an AP. That's the main logic. Then that whenever you are inserting some means between the 2 numbers, the resulting sequence, if you write the means in order of their derivation, so they will be forming an AP. So everything is more better understandable using an example. So given 2 numbers, suppose this, and I want to insert say 3 numbers in between to make it an AP. Okay, so what will I do? I'll write this as 2, A1, A2, A3, and this will be 6. So clearly this will be an AP, and clearly if I am saying that you have to insert 3 means or you want to make sequence, so clearly the number of arithmetic means will be 2 less than the total terms of the AP. Why? Because the extremists are also given. So total will form the AP. So this will be consisting of 5 terms. So if you have a look at here, so this is your last term of this AP. This is the first term of an AP. So if I write this by A, so I know there are 5 numbers and I don't know what information I don't know, the common difference. That's the thing we are deriving here basically. So now if I write the L or AN formula in terms of this, so you know AN is 6, this will be equal to 2, so this will be n minus 1, n you know this is 5, so this will whole be equal to 4 and D. So now if you write it here, so 4 will be equal to 4D or D will be equal to 1. Now D equal to 1 means that this will be equal to 3, this will be equal to 4 and this will be equal to 5. So now you can clearly interpret this, that this is the 5 terms in an AP. Now let us, this was, I think this made very clear that what was the use of saying 3 arithmetic means, 4 arithmetic means or 2 arithmetic means. 1 it's easy, it's just the average. But when we talk about 2 arithmetic means, it means 2 numbers are inserted such that it becomes the AP. Let us derive the general derivation, after which we will do some examples. Okay, so now if you say a and if I insert n arithmetic means, so this will go to an. So I have already mentioned that the total terms will be n plus 2. If you take 3 arithmetic means, the total will be 5. That we have already discussed. So your last term here will be b, your first term will be a, and what will be the total number of terms? N plus 2, and minus 1 is there, so this will be d. So now here, as you can see, the d will come out to be b minus a over n plus 1. So this is, see, b and a will be known. So according to the number of arithmetic means you are interested, so you can clearly find the difference. If you remember, for 1, what was the n will be 1. So this will become b minus a by 2. Difference. Remember, it's the difference. So difference, what you will do, you will just add up the difference here. You will just add up difference from this to this, from this to this, again d. So this will be forming the n arithmetic means. So let us now talk about some examples which we have discussed. The sum of first terms of an AP is 27 and sum of their squares. So here the word 3 is missing, I guess. The sum of first 3 terms of an AP is 27 and the sum of their squares is 293. So it's required to find the absolute. Now what do you mean by absolute? We will see that what the absolute value means. So value of S15. So if here again you can see that the sum and the sum of their squares is written. So we will do it using the strategy which we have seen, that this we will say the first 3 terms will be a plus d. So now the sum of the 3 terms will be 27. If you remember, I directly wrote that this will be equal to 27. So a will be 9. So one thing you have got, now you can write this as 9 minus d, 9 and 9 plus d. The sum of their squares means first we have to square and then find the sum. So a minus d whole square plus a square plus, so what you have done, since you have find 9 as a, so clearly this will be easy to do now. So this is given to be 293. So now from this, if you closely see that if we expand this and this, you will get 2a square plus 2d square, and from here minus 2ad, from here plus 2ad. It will get cancelled, and for a you have the value as 9 square, so it will be 81. So now can you see that this question has been reduced to so easy part? So this again will be 81 and 2 into this will be 162 plus 81, it will make it 243. So 243 plus 2d square will be here, and this will be equal to 293. So what will be your 2d square? It will be become this minus this. So this will be 50 and d will be equal to this. Now again it's the crucial step. So d will be equal to plus minus 5. So now it's saying that although your a is 1 but you are getting ds, so we will solve for both cases basically. So first we will do take plus 5. So if you write S15, if you remember the formula, it was n by 2, so n is 15 here. So 15 by 2, what was that? 2a. Now here the last term is not given. So we will take 2 into a, which is 9. This will be minus n minus 1d. So n minus 1 if I talk, so n is 15, 14. And what is the d? First we are taking into 5. So this will be 15 by 2 into 18 minus 70. So 15 minus 52. Remember, a negative sign is here. So now it says the absolute. So whenever we are talking about the absolute value, it means that we have to take mod of that. Means we have to neglect whatever sign is coming overall after simplifying the final step. So this you can easily multiply later on. So this will be minus 15 into 26. So this absolute value if you write, so it will be only 15 into 26. Now similarly, when you will take the minus sign, so you can find the sum. So there will be two values for the S15. If you take only one value, so that won't solve the case. So instead of plus 5, what you will take? Minus 5 here in the second case. So that I will leave for you as an exercise. You can do that. Again, this one was using that, this one question I have specially put it here for that first property which we have done. So quickly moving to this, so clearly it's saying that 1 plus b by c, this is an AP. So we have to prove that these are also in AP. Now clearly you can see from this, now you have to start observing the patterns. So here what is A is in the numerator, here B is in the numerator, here C is in numerator. So if I am saying that what is missing from every term, the numerator, so what I'll do that I'll multiply each and everything by A plus B plus C. Now you will see that as you practice the questions like this, you will get to know that how do we decide this. So now if I write it like this, so resulting will also be in an AP, because I told that if you multiplied. So what thing that came to in my mind was that since now what I can do, I can see this here, I can see C plus A here. So I will separate the terms and this will be my required thing and this will be plus 1. Similarly here B will be left 1 here. Similarly for the third term it will again be if you see A plus B, so 1 will be definitely there, 1 plus will be here, plus whatever is the required term. So now what is the last step? If you subtract 1 from each term, you will get the required result. So this was just for the illustration that the questions, they will be using that property, that if you multiply, add. So this was just the basic part. So if you do some examples, do 3-4 examples, then you will easily see that how do we select the multiplying, dividing or minus factor. So the answer lies in the answer only. So in case of JEE, you will see the options and from the options you will start simplifying the questions. Let us look at the last question of this part, which is arithmetic means. So now it says 6 arithmetic means are inserted between these two numbers. So your A becomes 1, your last term, that is AN, becomes 9 by 2. Now since 6 arithmetic means are there, so automatically A will be there, then A1 till A6, and what will be this AN? This will be actually be 8. Why? Because this A1 is actually the second term of an AP. So this will be A7 and A8. So now we can write A8, and if you remember the direct formula which I have given, the D will be B minus A over N plus 1. So 9 by 2 minus 1, it will be 7 by 2, and what is N? 6 arithmetic means, so it will be divided by 7, so difference will be half. So now if you write the terms 1 plus 1 by 2 like this, so you will get it as 3 by 2, then 2, then 5 by 2, then 6, then the next term, not 6, 6 by 2, or you can first write it like this and later simplify, so 9 by 2. So it says find the fourth arithmetic mean. Now don't mark this as the fourth arithmetic mean. This is the most of the students do this. So this was the first arithmetic mean, this is the second, this is the third, this is the fourth. So this will be the answer for this. So I hope that the illustrations which I have picked justifies the whatever concepts we have learnt immediately. This concludes with the first chapter of our journey, Arithmetic Progression. So in this we have learnt about the important highlights, in which the major things were that how to take the terms when the given terms are given in AP. Secondly, we also saw about arithmetic mean, how to insert the n arithmetic means between the given two numbers. And I hope the question which was discussed consolidated the concepts discussed. Stay tuned for the next part.